Welcome back, Album Chef's AP Gains. All right, the glyphs are out, or at least the announcements are out, and they're going to be out next month. And I've seen a lot of people who are not big Galaxy of Heroes players a little confused about how the system's going to work. So I'm going to explain it to you very simply because it's not a very complicated system. And then you won't ever have to really mind it that much ever again anymore. You'll have to do it, obviously, but you won't have to think too much about it. All right. So just like in Galaxy of Heroes, there's going to be 6 slots. There's going to be some sets of mods where if you complete a set by having a certain number of the same type of mod, you get a set bonus. I think that there's different set bonuses that they laid out somewhere here. Yeah. And there's 2 types of sets. There's going to be major sets, same in Galaxy of Heroes. I think they're just called large sets or something. And then minor. Since there's 6 slots, you are either going to have, 3 minor sets where you can get 3 bonuses or 3 of the same bonus. An example in Galaxy of Heroes would be characters that require lots of health. There is health sets, and there are sets of 2. So in Heroes of Middle-earth terms, it would be a minor set. You would have 6 health mods, thus getting 3 of the minor set bonuses. For here, it would be, let's just say it's this health one. Or I'll just take this first one. You could have 3 bloodlust sets. So you would get 30% turn meter whenever you kill someone. And assuming that this, I'm imagining this would work the same way. You would get 90% turn meter when killing someone, which actually sounds kind of hot. Conversely, you could get 6% lifesteal gain or an additional 6% damage against enemies with more than 50% health, blah, 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 blah. The major sets are going to be 4, so you can only have 1 of those plus 1 minor set. They're whatever. I don't even think I've read them. You get some bonus stamina to a random person, which is cool. Turn meter right before you can die is super cool. I think that'll actually be super helpful for raids for like reviving characters and stuff like that. You get regeneration, which is also cool, and you can do extra true damage for Banes. This is going to be super good for the Haradrim, for instance, where you're applying large stacks of Banes. You're going to give yourself way more focus. You're going to land those Banes more. Every time you land those Banes, you're going to be doing true damage to all of the, like the Balrog. Or not, I don't even know if you can land debuffs on the Balrog, but for like Chapter 2 against the Cave Troll, you're going to just do a crap ton of damage. So, sets. Major, minor, 4, 2, not super complicated. There's going to be like primary stats, same thing in Galaxy of Heroes. So there will be a Bloodlusts or a Lembus set bonus, but most importantly, each of those, let's say you have 4 Lembus, so you have, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 mods will all have primary stats and secondary stats, and you have 1 Bloodlust down here to fix out your other mods. So you have 1 Bloodlust set bonus, 1 Lembus set bonus, and then all 6 mods will have primary and secondary stats. There'll be 1 primary stat that's going to give you a big boost in some category, and then there's going to be 4 secondary stats for each one of those mods. So let's take this middle mod right here. It'll be part of a set. Let's say it's part of the Lembus set. So if combined with 3 other Lembus mods, it will give you a Lembus set bonus. This particular mod right in the middle will have a primary stat, say health percentage. It will give you... I don't think they say the ranges, but let's say it gives you an extra 10% health as the primary stat. It'll have a random 4 secondary bonuses that are going to be things like speed, more health percentage, extra offense percentage or damage or whatever it's called in this game, and maybe extra focus, right? Something you'd need for your Haradrim or something like that. So here are the primary stats: health, damage, armor, and then so I guess 3 of them are going to be locked. So this one, I'm just going to make this arbitrary. This one will always have a primary of health. This one will always have a primary of damage. And this one will always have a primary of armor. And then the other 3 could be one of the 3. It could be, random. It's going to depend on the mod you have. All of them are going to have access to 4 of the secondary stats. And again, those are health, damage, armor, focus, resistance, crit chance, crit damage, block chance, block mitigation. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And then speed. Speed, of course, being the most important. You are going to not want to use any mods that or glyphs. I'm going to call them mods. You're not going to want to use a mod that doesn't have speed on it. Now, while speed conceivably is overpowered, it's only overpowered insofar as one person has it and one person doesn't have it, which would be stupid. You should never have characters who don't have mods with speed on them. And eventually, maybe not day one, because you won't have unlimited access to these resources, but eventually, all of your characters, every single mod, will have speed on them. And the only difference will be between, do you have plus, I'm going to use arbitrary numbers, do you have plus 50 speed, and your opponent has plus 80 speed, plus 70 speed? There's a big difference. But realistically, those differences are only going to exist between the people who spend lots of money and the people who don't. And when daily GAC, or fuck, you guys know what GAC is called, when multi-squad PvP comes out, you'll be separated in ranks, kind of like Arena, relative to how strong your roster is. So you're not going to be playing the whales anyway, and I don't think any of us with rational, powerful mobile gaming brains anticipate that we will be able to compete with people spending lots of money. This is not how just not how these games work. So realistically speaking, it doesn't matter what they make the speed cap. Yours are going to be similar to other people at your level, at your spending level. It's not going to matter that people with more money than you, oh, boo-hoo, people with more money get more things. That's just kind of how fucking life works. Like, I don't drive down the 101 on my way to work and go like, man, that fucking rich person is driving a brand new G-Wag. It's a $400,000. You know what I mean? Like, I don't be, oh, darn, that woman married a rich guy. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. That's just how life is. Accept it. Same thing here. If all of your characters have plus 60 speed, you're probably going to be playing other people with similar rosters, with similar type mods. Don't worry too much that there's some guy who's spending tens of thousands of dollars a month who has mods that have plus 90 speed. That's just the way the world works. There'll be levels, level 1 through 10 in Galaxy of Heroes. It's 15, so I imagine they'll eventually bump this up to increase the power creep in the future. This is how these things work. Essentially, you'll have your primary stat will be revealed at 1, and then every subsequent level up to 5 will reveal one of the 4 secondary stats, and then there will be a stat increase for the primary that will probably be relatively big, compared to the other stuff. At least that's how it works in Galaxy of Heroes. And then the subsequent 7, 8, 9, 10 will give you an extra roll on one of the 4 secondaries. So you could get a mod that has, I'm just going to use very arbitrary numbers here, plus 1 speed, plus 1 damage, plus 1 health, plus 1 armor, right? So you have a speed, you get X% health, more 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 X% health, plus 1 speed, plus 1 armor, plus 1 damage, plus 1 health, whatever, right? Then you can go plus 1 to speed. So this could now be a 2-speed mod. You could get really lucky and make it a 3-speed mod. You can make it really lucky and make it a 4-speed mod. You could get really lucky and make it a 5-speed mod. That's what you're going to want to go for. You're going to want to go for 5 of speed and 1 of everything else. That's not going to happen very frequently. So realistically, it'll probably be like 2 speed, 2 health, 2 damage, 1 armor, or something like that, or some weird amalgamation. You guys have brain cells. You kind of understand that it's just an RNG. Now, theoretically, there are even % chances across all of the stats. If they're not, that needs to be disclosed. Galaxy of Heroes, I'm fairly confident they've disclosed that there's even chances. Not for Datacrons, which are not in this game, but and actually, CG, you should at least post the odds of that happening, because that's super fucked up. But I'm going under the assumption that it's going to be even across the board for your chance to roll one of whatever stats you have. Spells. In Galaxy of Heroes terms, these are just mod slicing materials, slicing meaning upgrades. So think of these as just glyph upgrades. The images are cool, but don't really matter anything or matter at all. I imagine they're just relative to the respective upgrade that you have to do. So, going to 6 will require some greens, and then going from 7 to 8 will require some blacks, and going from 9 up to 9 to 10 will require some blues, or something like that. You're going to find them in random nodes. Hopefully they're on good nodes that are required for farming characters and gear. But realistically speaking, as more characters come out and go to nodes, these will eventually all get filled up. Same thing happened in Galaxy of Heroes. Right now, you can farm any node, essentially, because it'll give you something of value on that node. There are not enough characters in this game to fill out all the nodes, so for right now, it might be the case that the node's not necessarily great, but mods are going to be infinitely important in the early game until mods are established on all characters, because the difference between a character with 10,000 health and 1,000 damage versus a character that can get an extra 30 to 40% health increase and an extra 15 to 20% damage increase with extra 30 speed or something like that it's going to blow every other character out of the water. So it's going to be important to farm these up for your arena team first, and then for the rest of your teams for raids, and eventually when multi-squad PvP comes out, it's going to be very important to have them for your entire roster so that your defense can hold and your offense can be strong and super fast, so that you can get more banners than your opponent and win and climb the ranks and get more gems as rewards. Pretty simple. They're having a dev Q&A, but honestly, there's not really anything they can tell us in dev Q&A that we don't already know, at least nothing interesting besides lore or something like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, love you, and I'll see you later.